Hey up, I'm in Leeds and I've got £5 and today I'm going to see what I can get up to with just a fiver. There is a catch though, this £5 has got to provide all my food for the day as well. So I've just got here, I'm on the outskirts of Leeds in a place called Bramley and I'm in a Morrison's car park. I know, don't say oh, I'm not a big fan of Morrison's, but it's the first place I've seen, so I thought I'll go in and see what food I can get. That could be a snack, couldn't it? Yeah, that's fairly healthy. I am, love. That is my food for today until tea time, and I'm going to magic that into a sandwich. So there you go, that is my sustenance until tea time. I've also got this, but obviously that's just water and that didn't cost anything. I should have put it in a smaller bottle though, to be honest, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to walk into Leeds. I don't know how far it is from here. I'll have a look on Google Maps. I'll probably eat the apples on my way in because they're looking a bit brown already, so that'll give me energy, and then we'll see what's happening in Leeds. So I've parked on this estate here, right by the Dragon Hotel, and we can see Leeds there off in the distance. It's not too far, is it, actually, when you look at it? So let's head on in. The forecast was for rain, but it don't look too bad. I've got my brolly back just in case though, so fingers crossed I'm not going to need it. As I walk, I'm going to eat my apple pieces. Living dream. They're like going really brown, so I need to eat them quick. That's like so 70s, isn't it? When people used to put that LUFC rule okay. And I always used to think, how do you actually read that? Is it a statement that's saying LUFC rule okay? Or is it that they just rule okay, like average? They rule okay. So if you see here with all the parking, any street that's not got meters on, it's just bedlam. People on pavements and everything. No wonder I could, oh, there's a thing there, look. 3 hours. So you've got 3 hours maximum. So that wouldn't have been any good anyway. For clarification, I did used to live in Leeds for a number of years. I lived in a place called Farsley, and then I lived in a place called Chapel Allerton. Although I didn't come into the city centre that much because all my family and all my friends were down sort of South Yorkshire, Barnsley, Rotherham, Sheffield. So it wasn't that often I'd come into Leeds city centre. And you know me, I try and avoid shopping wherever I can. So in between all the modern architecture, there are little things to remind us of Leeds' industrial heritage. And I've just found this here, which I think might be something to do with the trains. So yes, that was a wagon hoist. I knew it was something to do with the trains because it's right where the train lines used to run. And it looks like there's a bit of a guided tour going on here. Hello. So there was a chap called Adrian there who's one of my subscribers, and he was just on that tour. So I said I would give you a shout out. So hello, Adrian. Well, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? It's fascinating how that used to work. So there used to be a viaduct, and there would be trains on one level and trains on the ground level, and the hoist would lift things off the top one onto the bottom one and vice versa. That's the impression I got anyway. Fantastic Victorian engineering. Look at that reflection on the glass building here, and it sort of echoes the Queen's Hotel in the background, which is the creamy coloured Art Deco building. And that hotel is right close to the train station, which is just, oh there look. You can actually get to the train station through those doors there, so it's right next to it. And there's this very imposing bronze statue ahead. It's the Black Prince, which is actually Edward of Woodstock. And there's 8 lamp bearers around the outsides here, so we'll have a look at them. So Edward of Woodstock, he's got no connection to Leeds whatsoever. He was the eldest son of Edward III. Don't know why they built that here. I don't know that tune either, what he's playing. That sounds like a tune you'd play when you were a kid. You know, on Christmas Day, you just got your recorder. And these sort of lamp bearers that are around the edge really are imposing. And then there's 2 chaps here. I don't know who these 2 are. We'll go and have a look. Oh, that's James Watt and that's John Harrison. We know them well, don't we? And we've got 2 more chaps there. I don't know who they are either. That's obviously modern, but it's very Art Deco. I really like that. You see, I can get with that. I don't like a lot of modern architecture, but that's really nice. And there's an old Victorian structure over there, which is obviously a bar now, like most places, or some restaurant or something. I like it here. I like this square. You've got the obligatory pigeons and the float man and the naked ladies. Have you ever noticed through the course of time, whenever women have been depicted in art, or 90% of the time, they're usually naked? It says a lot, doesn't it? It certainly was a man's world, wasn't it? I'm not being a wusser out like that, or like a feminist. I mean, I am a bit of a feminist, but it just makes you think, doesn't it, when you sort of think about it. It's a bit strange. Now, if I remember right, the town hall is this way. See, I remember this area. This is Greek Street, and at one point it's where all the cool bars used to be, and would come here on a night out. On the rare occasion I did come into Leeds. We've got a Wetherspoons, look. I don't think it were a Wetherspoons back then, but I might be wrong. And look at those reliefs there on that pub. The bootlegger. Aren't they fantastic? I've not even really been in anywhere yet, but you can just come to a wonderful city like this and just admire all the buildings and just soak in the atmosphere. We're near the town hall, I'm sure. Is that it? Yep, the town hall's there. We'll go and have a look. But then I've just seen something really strange here, these pianos. I want to have a look at those. Some sort of sculpture. Interesting thing about pianos is my dad used to be a piano dealer. He did the antiques and then he branched into pianos, and he did it for quite a long time. It's called the Piano Cube. There'll be some weight there. They've all been stuck. Free entry, look. Boom. Let's go in there. So, yes, the Henry Moore Institute. If you like Henry Moore sculptures, you can see a lot of them at Yorkshire Sculpture Park. I did do a video on that. Yeah, so it's a lot of, yeah. Now, that's a sculpture, right? And there's a jar of water. Is that part of it? You wouldn't know, would you? Is that a sculpture? Yeah. Because it's that bright in here. I thought they'd just been in and painted it. So yeah, that's a sculpture. And there's the trestle table. It's absolutely insane. We can go across this bridge to the Leeds Art Gallery, which hopefully will have some proper art. I know I get a bit of abuse for saying stuff like that, but you can't say that that's art, I'm sorry. See, that's more like it for me. So those two paintings that I showed you there at the end were by one of my all-time favourite artists, John Atkinson Grimshaw. He was from Leeds, and the way he depicted moons and sunsets and things like that, basically light on water, absolutely fantastic paintings. And it was relatively unknown until recently, and you could have picked his paintings up at a, probably 10, 20 years ago, you could have picked his paintings up at a reasonable price, and now they go for mega money. Look at this here, this is fab. A tiled hall. So there you've got the classic type statue there, and I think this is more a modern one because she looks like she's had surgery and it's gone wrong. By the way, if any of you know any doctors who can help out with cosmetic surgery that's gone wrong, I'm all ears. I'm gutted. So there's the town hall. and it's undergoing some renovation. What a magnificent building that is. And it was, the architect was the same guy that did Huddersfield Station. I can't remember his name, I'll have to look it up. Spectacular building. I would have loved to have gone inside there, but hey ho. That was good though. The art gallery right next door. So if that's your thing, completely free. And that cafe looked lovely, which has made me hungry. So I think I'm going to have my beef and tomato sandwich. You know, when we went to Margate and I slagged off all that modern art, well, a lovely lady came on in the comments and she sort of explained it all to me and everything. And fair enough, a lot of it I said tongue-in-cheek because I do like some modern art and I do it for a bit of a reaction. I think 90% of it is crap and maybe 80%, I don't know. But come on, that in there, those two paint trays on the floor and that trestle table. I don't even know if it were a proper trestle table. Couldn't even be bothered to clean it. Do you know what I mean? That's not art, that. And they'll say, oh, it invokes some sort of emotion and makes you think about such and such, but it's waffle. They just said that. I could do that. So, you've got a Henry Moore there, look. So I've got a nice spot here. I've managed to decanter my water into a lighter bottle that I found on the floor in the cab of the van. It's quite windy, so I hope the sound's not too bad. But let me show you this sandwich. It's all crushed. If I'm not careful, that camera's going to blow over. I have to be really careful here. Let me show you this sandwich. This is proper gourmet beef spread. Look at that, beef spread and tomato. We're not messing about. To be honest, it's not bad. So I think while I sit here like a plonker and eat this sandwich, I'll do a bit of a time lapse. Right.
Where am I going now?
While I had my sandwich there, I did a bit of research to look for more free things to go and have a look at around Leeds. One of them, which looks really good, is the Marks and Spencer's archive, but that's quite a way out, and there's somewhere else I want to go, which is in the other direction, a place that I already knew about. So I thought, well, before I walk there, I'll come back into the shopping area because, I mean, I've not been here for years, but I seem to remember there was lots of nice architecture, like shopping arcades and stuff, so we'll go and have a look at them. The clock's not working, that's obviously been stuck for some time. And the figures on there, that looks like, well, it's obviously Robin up there. I don't know who the other characters are. I don't know how old that is, whether it works or anything. But then as we go back down, there's another chap peeking out here. Let's have a look. Whitelocks, it's here, look. Established 1715. I'm not having a drink though. It's a fab pub, this. Thank you. Cheers, thanks. What a pub that is. It's just as good as I remember. And you know, now my sort of interest in pubs has got even more sort of refined. I appreciate it so much more. Look at Flannels here. So it's all been renovated. So if you don't know what Flannels is, it's like a designer store, ridiculously priced clothes. I've been in there and you won't believe it. You know, like t-shirts that are ripped and stained, because that's the look. £300, £400 for a plain t-shirt. I went in once not knowing what it was, and I picked a coat up. I thought, that's nice. It was £1,500. The thing is, right, an interesting fact about Flannels, they've got one in Barnsley, and per square foot, it is the most profitable Flannels, or it takes the most money. I can't remember the details, but it's the best one in the country. So we'll head through here, the Victorian Quarter. This is the posh bit. These are all your designer shops here. It smells good in here though. I might get told off here. Look at that, that is spectacular. I mean, you come in these places, you come and do your shopping, well, not that I do, but you never think to look up. And it's my mum that's taught me to look up. And it changes everything. It changes your perspective. As I was filming a little bit back there was a security guard, and he sort of made a gesture. I had to corner my eye, I saw him make a gesture. I thought, he's going to tell me I can't film. And he waved to me because he'd seen my Scarborough video, so I was chatting to him, a lovely guy. Right, let's go and have a look in the market. I wonder if that is the first Marks and Spencer stall. Possibly. Right, this is at the bottom of the market, and this bit has changed so much. It's like a big food hall. It's quite a large space. It looks like they have some sort of performances and things on there. Really like it. Kirkgate Market. I've just spotted that mural. I've looked it up and it's something I can't say. It's one of them words I can't say. Cornucopia, is it? Cornucopia. Right, so this is the Corn Exchange here. And this is a fabulous little shopping arcade place. We're going to go and have a look. It's just an arcade of all small independent boutiques, arts and crafts, gifts and things. I'll have a quick walk around. But it's a magnificent building, it really is. It's really quiet though, that's a shame. And there's actually units that are to let. We're starting to run out of time now. I've got to get to the last place before it closes. So we'll just quickly have a look at the Trinity. It's clouding over now, we might have some rain. I've got to say, I've got to be honest with you now. You see, for me, Leeds, from a personal aspect, I've got some bad memories of Leeds from when I lived here in the past. Just personal stuff, not to do with Leeds itself, just sort of relationships and stuff. So it sort of gets into your brain a bit and you have a negative vibe about it. But coming today, now life is good, and coming with a completely open mind, I've got to say, I really, really like it. And I've just spoke to Helen on phone and I said, we need to have a night out in Leeds. We had one of our early dates, we came to Leeds actually. So she remembers it vaguely. But I've said, look, we need to do like a Saturday afternoon session. Right, so I've done a bit of a loop here. I wanted to have a look in here, Trinity. I think this is going to be just like Meadow Hall. It's not my cup of tea at all, but we'll have a look. It's got a nice sculpture apparently.
Yeah.
Yes, it was just that sculpture that I wanted to see, that horse. It's got a Latin name, but translated it means high horse, and I guess it is quite high. It's a nice ceiling, really like the ceiling. But yes, scrap that, I'm getting out of here as fast as I can because this is my idea of hell. I don't know when I got in my head to go to Trinity. I think I looked online, you know, you look on these websites, free things to do in Leeds, and it was like, Trinity. So, yeah. Right, we're going to the final place, and it's about a 30-minute walk. So I'll see you when we get there. So here we are visiting this building here on the left. That walk wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It wasn't 30 minutes. My sat nav on my phone initially said 30-minute walk, but when I set off it updated and it was about 10 minutes really from the city centre. So here we are. The building behind me is the National Armouries, Leeds Armouries, and it's a museum of armour and arms and armoury. It's completely free. It's quite good as well. Let's go and have a look. So that's it, that is your Leeds Armouries. I'm just going to eat my banana now before walking back to Van, which is 3 miles. So I'll have done some mileage today, I'll tell you. And when I get there, there's one more interesting place I'd like to go and have a look at, but I'm going to have to drive there. So, I'll see you in a bit. So this is Lawnswood Cemetery, and I like walking around cemeteries, and I've heard that this is quite a good one. So there's a map as you walk in, it looks like it's a big place. I'm just going to walk round. I've got no idea, but we'll have a look. I want to find all the old headstones. As you get further away from the main road, the noise of all the traffic subsides and it gets more peaceful the deeper in the cemetery you go. Really in need of some repair, these bits around here. The Latin inscription on the bottom there, that says Mors Janua Vitae, which means death, the gate to life. And that is the memorial to Sam Wilson and his wife Anne Wilson. And Sam Wilson was a very wealthy man. He was in the cloth industry in the 19th century. And he was also a collector of fine arts and furniture, so obviously you can see that in his memorial there. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? So this is the memorial of Ethel Preston, who died just 50 years old in 1911. She was originally Ethel West, born in 1861, and she married Walter Preston, and he was a manufacturing chemist. They lived in a property called the Grange in Beeston, which is no longer. She obviously loved the house because this memorial is a model of the entrance to her house, and obviously it looks really grand. Just a year after Ethel died though, her husband Walter married his 22-year-old housekeeper. So there you go. It became quite a tourist attraction. It was even featured on postcards. You know, in those days, when I look back at my family tree and everything, people had to be married, didn't they? And it was quite common. So when people would die a lot younger, and then their spouse would just remarry fairly quickly after. It seemed quite the norm back then. And right next to it, there's this one. Arthur Briggs, and he was born at Outwood Hall, Wakefield. So quite a big house. I wonder what that's depicting. It looks like some sort of farming, and there's an angel watching over him. I wonder if that's supposed to be him. His name, what is it, Arthur Currer, Briggs. And he was born July 23rd, 1855, I think that says. Died just 51. And his wife was called Helen, and she's obviously there as well. I love places like this. They're so peaceful and they're poignant. I like to read the names out and just think about these lives, these people's lives. In a way, it sort of invigorates me a little bit. Doesn't that sound weird? But it just makes you appreciate your own mortality and think about, you know, you've got one chance, you've got one life. There was obviously a lot of wealthy people buried here. And what do they say about death? It's a great equaliser. We're all the same in death. You could have a grand headstone, but then that's it. So right at the top end of the graveyard, there was like the paupers' graves, really, just a broken cross on the floor. You know, it's so sad, isn't it? And then down this end, you've got the wealthy people. But in the end, it don't matter. Do you believe in signs and things like that? Are you superstitious? Because just as I was talking about life and death then, a white feather fell on me from a tree. Does that mean anything? Is it significant? Was that an angel? It's from an angel's wings, isn't it, that? They're saying, you know what you're talking about, lad? At least I hope it's not a bad thing. It won't be, will it? It could be another video, that. I am sure there's so many interesting stories just in this one graveyard. And I bet there's so many graveyards like that where you could come and sort of jot the names down and then research them and see what sort of lives they had. So glad I come here. I know I'd like it. And the little church here doesn't look too shabby either. I need to try and find some food now for my tea. I've got £3.25 burning all in my pocket. So I'll just go to the nearest Asda or whatever supermarket, have a look on the whoops aisle, knock something up in the back of the van, and then I need to find somewhere to spend the night. So I'll go on the Park for Night app probably. I can't be bothered faffing. I'll just find nearest place. Right, I've come to Pudsey because there's an M&S. There's an M&S and an Asda. And I've been told that the whoops aisle in M&S can be quite good sometimes. So we'll have a look in there first. I don't know if I'm going to get out for £3.25, but it's worth a look into it. Well, that were a complete waste of time. Got absolutely nothing in there. So we need to go to Asda. It's a big one, this as well. So hopefully it's going to be alright. Oh, bloody hell. That is it. We've got some lamb liver, some barbecue wings. That is it. Nothing. So it looks like I'm just going to have to get a regular ready meal or something, doesn't it? I'm not fanning about. I'm not going to another bloody supermarket. I'll get something from here. Right, back in the van. And I've decided I'm going to have my tea here in this Asda car park, and I want to chill out here because I think there's no restrictions here, so I can chill out here for night and then find somewhere to sleep later on after dark. But this idea, this £5 idea, is a bit stupid. And I think it's because I've not had any luck with the whoops aisles, and I just can't be bothered going around other supermarkets. And I'm certainly not eating whatever it was, lamb's liver for my tea. So, right, you want to see what I've got for my tea? It's a bit depressing. Vegetable curry, let me tell you prices. £1.50. Best quality garlic bread, 37p. And then I thought, well, what am I going to have? Do I have a pudding? And I thought, no, I thought I'll not have a pudding. What would I rather have? As I'm chilling in back at van, watching a film or something, what would I rather have? What's my treat going to be after a hard day's walking? Well, it's going to be a beer. So I've got this. It were £1.20. I don't even know what it is. Champignons. It's continental lager. It's French lager, and French lager's not the best. It's sort of stuff you used to have in them little bottles. Do you remember we used to go to barbecues in the 90s? So I'm going to put it in the fridge to get it cold. It's 5.5%. So yeah, it's basically a curry on its own. I'm going to get air fryer out and do garlic bread in air fryer. It'll be alright. It'll fill me. Alright. I forgot to say, my total spend today has been £4.82. I'm left with 18p to carry it over. How good's that? I'm going to put this garlic bread in air fryer ready. I'm going to have to do it in 2 halves. How long's garlic bread take in air fryer? No idea. Well, it might all go in. I just normally put it all in for like 10-15 minutes and usually burn it. I hope I've got enough gas in my bottle. It's not very glamorous, this is it. I've got plenty of ventilation. Vegetable curry. It's the future. That garlic smelling already. It might be actually quite nice. Oh yes, look at that. Keep stirring. Oh yes. You can see why I eat out so much now, can't you? It's a right faff. And then there's cleaning pots. I hate cleaning pots. This is the life, guys. I'm chilled in the back of the van. I'm watching, what were it called? Bless This House with Sid James. And I've got the best meal ever. Honestly, this is dream come true. Let me film some fancy B-roll for you. Are you ready? I'll do some fancy music and everything. This is it. Chicka wow wow, chicka wow wow. Living dream or what? So what I'm going to do, can't find my big spoon, I ought to use a fork really, but vegetarian curry. To be fair, it's not bad. It's a bit claggy, it's like them chips other day. Oh, it's quite hot though. I'm glad I've got a drink. Some garlic bread. I think that cheap garlic bread is just as good as posh garlic bread. You know, the baguette type. That's nice. It's like a naan bread. That's alright. It's alright. Okay. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch Bless This House, and then I'll chill for a bit, and then we'll find somewhere to park up. Right, that was lovely, that tea. It weren't. It were alright. It's filled all. I'm very full. I've still got half my beer left. I've just been sat there looking on Park for Night to find a park up, and this car park is on. It's a 24-hour car park. Asda's open 24 hours, and there's other shops, but I'm just going to have a walk and double check to see if there's any signs or warnings. I'm not seeing any, but I'll have a double check. I may as well stay here, haven't I? Let's go and have a look. So there's that sign there, but it don't really say anything. It says you can get daily or monthly spaces. There's a sign over here. What's on about liability? There's no signs at all. No cameras, no signs. So I think this might be my stop for the night. I'm going to pull around the corner though to the end Right, I've just come to a quieter part of the car park. I think that's alright. I'm not really tucked away in a corner or anything. I'm under a spotlight, but that don't bother me in back at van because I've got good blinds. I think we'll be alright here. I tell you what, when you've been out there and then you get back in van from me cooking, it is so warm in here. Oh, shoes off. I always put my keys in my shoe because I'm paranoid about locking myself out at van. I've got my other half of this beer. Just going to sort my bed out. I met bed up, all excited, watch a bit of telly, answer some questions, and I don't know where I've put remote control. What I do, because I've got hardly any space in here, I'll show you. I've got my hatch there into the front, so I just chuck loads of stuff in there, and I think I've put it in a bag, and it'll be in front, and I can't be bothered to go back. So it's 8:30. Bloody hell. I was thinking I'll do some editing. I'll start editing this video, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to answer some comments, and then I'll probably read for a bit, because if I can't get to sleep, I've got lots of books that I never read a full book, I just read bits of them and then I fall asleep. I've fallen asleep with a book on my face in past. But hopefully I'll get a decent night here. I'll let you know in the morning. So how's this gone? Shall I do it again? Have you got any suggestions? God, I look fat on that, don't I? It's where I'm sat. I'm going to sit like this, it's a lot more alluring. How you doing? So, yeah, so how's it gone? Shall I do another one of these, £5 in 24 hours? It weren't that difficult, and I'll tell you what, if I got a good whoop sale, I think I could do it even better. You know, how much did I spend? £4.80 something, £4.82 I think I spent today. I'm not hungry. I got some fruit in. You know, I know that last meal weren't brilliant, were it? But I've done loads of walking today. 10 miles I've walked. I was telling Helen, I phoned her up and I said, I've done 10 miles according to me watch. She says, yeah, but that's really 6 miles, because she keeps winding me up saying I've got little legs. I don't have little legs. But she says it's equivalent to her doing 6 miles. But I've walked a lot today. Let me know what you think. Should I do another one of these? Just incorporating it into travel, just to mix it up a little bit, make it a bit interesting. I'll let you know what this park up's like. I'm just listening now. It's relatively quiet now. It's not late. It's 24-hour supermarket and everything. There's 24-hour petrol station. I don't think there's going to be any trouble here. It might be a little bit noisy, and it might be noisy from about 6 AM, but I normally wake up early anyway. So we'll just see how we get on. If you want me to do this again, just come up with some suggestions of places you think I could go to. You know, feel free to contact me and with suggestions. Alright, I'm going to answer these questions, or some of these questions now, and then get my head down. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Absolutely really enjoyed it in Leeds today. Brilliant, loved it. Loads to do. Beautiful city. Really good buzz about the place. I've not been back for such a long time, and maybe I had a bit of negative preconceptions before going because of my negative experiences from the past. But yeah, that was silly, that really, and I'm going to go again. I'll do a few more bits in Leeds because there's some other places I'd like to go to. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Alright. Silly.